Hi, my name is Inga Brown, and I'm from Layton. And I want to commend you, first of all, for standing up for what you believe in and for what's right, as opposed to going along with the establishment. I know a lot of criticism has come your way from the GOP, that you're hurting the party. And I commend you and Rand Paul and Ted Cruz for standing up for what you believe in. So thank you.
Thank you.
Keep it up and don't disappoint me. The other thing that I would like to ask is a two-parter again. As far as Obamacare goes, the president just signed off exempting Congress from having to participate in Obamacare. And it's, we all become, I think, a little apathetic and a little cynical towards our government because we feel powerless. We feel powerless, and there's nothing we can vote on. You guys go back to Washington, you get all these perks and benefits, and we're the ones that pay for it. And I wonder what your position is on that, because you benefit from that. And the other comment I want to make is daily I hear on radio, TV, from the conservative side of things, of course, that our Constitution is hanging by a thread, that it is being shredded daily, that there is no accountability by our congressmen, by our president, to those laws that I feel were divine. And there was a very wise man once said that our Constitution will not be saved in Washington. It will be saved by the people. So it's wonderful that I can hear all the things that you're in favor of, but you're one man. But we're a room full of people. What can we do as a people to get Common Core out of our schools? What can we do to hold you guys accountable and not make, you get special benefits that we don't get? How can we as a people bring back this nation to the greatness that it was once?
Okay. Thank you, Tina. First of all, with this recent memorandum by the Office of Management and Budget, bringing what was arguably yet another statutory modification from Obamacare so as to exempt members of Congress back out of the exchanges, which we were put into. That's wrong, and I'm against it, and I'm going to fight to undo it. There are some... There are a lot of things about this law that unfortunately pit groups of Americans against each other, that create certain privileged status people, in this case big corporations who are exempted out of the employer mandate, for example, at least for the first year, and then there are a lot of other people who will just see higher premiums and hourly cuts and unemployment as a result of it. And so beyond just this example that you point out, there are lots of unfairnesses built into the law and to the executive branch unconstitutional modification of the law after it was already put into effect. So it's one of the many reasons why we need to stop it. The best way, I think the only way to stop it before it kicks in, is to defund it, and that will stop it altogether. I'm focused on that. I want that to work. I'm counting on that working, even though the odds are against us, and all the political pundits and all the people in both political parties who are willing to let Obamacare kick in, what they're saying notwithstanding. I'm standing with the American people, and the American people can push back on Congress, and the American people usually win when they stand together. So we've got to stop it. If that fails, I'm already working with my friend and colleague, David Vitter, the senator from Louisiana, on legislation that would undo the special carve-out privilege for Congress, because that's not fair. On the second part of your question about the Constitution, yeah, I agree with you, Tina. We're in a tough spot. People often ask me, is it broken? Is the system broken? And I don't think it's broken, because I use the word broken when something is not only not working right, but it's beyond repair. I don't think we're to that stage. I think it's repairable, but I think it's going to require that we change personnel. So if you analogize... We've got a perpetual governing class in Washington that's deeply entrenched, and there are people in both political parties who are part of it, and they don't want to let go of the ring, and it's time for us to tell them, you got to let go of the ring. And so, Tina, as to the last part of your question, what can you do about it? What can we as a people do about it? Those of us who feel this way, as I suspect most of us in this room feel that way, we need to be more vocal. We've had a lot of years in which many of us have allowed people of our party to speak for us, and they often don't, and sometimes they betray us. We've got to speak for ourselves and not let party leaders do it for us. We need to start writing letters to the editor of local newspapers and national newspapers when they fail to report the truth. That what we're trying to do is to require Obamacare to be funded or not funded on its own merits and not on the merits of national defense or something else. Write to your senators and to your congressmen. Call them. Email them. It does make a difference. It sometimes takes a while for it to sink in, but it does make a difference. And perhaps most importantly, talk to your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, your colleagues, your aunts, your uncles. Explain to them what's at stake, what's wrong with our country. Explain to them that we're at the mercy of a governing political class that wants more than anything to aggregate power to Washington, D.C. at the expense of your freedom, at the expense of your property, at the expense of our future as Americans. And when we join in to do this, we find that there's a lot we can do. We've been told at different times, I've been told several times this year, you've just got to accept legislation that will undo your Second Amendment rights. I was told that earlier this year by members of my own party. Accept it, get over it, leave it alone. I refused to do so. I was criticized by members of my own party, and we stopped that legislation dead in its tracks. And Tina, with your help and the help of lots of other people around the country and throughout our great state, we're going to do it again with Obamacare.